Hello, this is Lesley Moss, and I am working with Cassie and Ashley on our group project. Our child care is called A Step Ahead. I feel that we have really collaborated well from the start on this project. We decided to each put our own personal mission statements on our presentation because they were all unique, but also had the same goals, um, which were to create a safe space to enable children's developmental growth. Our missions also support our center name, which is a step ahead, as we want our children and parents to feel that their experience with us is starting children on the right path from infancy up. Today, I'll be discussing my personal mission statement, our program description, our startup budget, our hours of operation, and our food cost. So, my personal mission statement is that I believe that education is a unique experience for every student. The road to success for a student is dependent on their educational experiences from birth up. I feel it is critical that educators be fully invested in their work. As a teacher, it is my job to facilitate learning through practices that I believe enrich the lives of my students, both in and out of the classroom. I hold the belief that all children are capable of learning if given the right direction and motivation. Our program description states that a Step Ahead Childcare is an inclusive childcare program that values our families as the first teachers of their children. The program follows a Reggio Emilia approach to learning. The program voluntarily participates in Paths to Quality, Indiana's state recognized quality assurance program. The Paths to Quality standards are recognized by the NAEYC, which is a national accreditation organization for preschools and childcares. This program ensures that we're providing the highest quality of care possible for your children. We work with families of children ages birth to school age. Our faculty and staff are committed to providing a nurturing, positive, and safe atmosphere. Our curriculum recognizes that not every child will be on equal regard in all areas of development, and we balance our activities accordingly. We embrace that each child is unique in their learning style and provide opportunities for each style to develop cognitively, socially, emotionally, and physically. What I really wanted to stand out with our program description was that we are a quality focused and quality driven program, and that um, we have a commitment to teaching children regardless of their learning style and where they're at in their learning. And we do follow the Indiana Early Childhood foundations with our curriculum and with our assessments and observations with the children. Next, I'll talk about our startup budget. So our biggest expense in the startup budget was our lease for the building space, because we need a really large building to accommodate 166 children. And the required number of total square foot per child is 35. However, the recommended is 75 square foot per child. So I use the 75. So our space is bigger than required. The outdoor space requirement is 75 square foot per child. So that's kind of included in this number as well. So that's our total space of our building and property at 211,650,000. So I also included professional fees, lawyers, accountants, playground equipment, and landscaping for 166 children. That was a pretty large expense as well. And then I tried to think of other outdoor things that we would need at the initial startup. So our building sign, our landscaping, our fencing. And then indoor equipment includes the equipment for each room. So I went infant, toddler, 2, 3, 4, 5, and school age rooms with about 7,000 per room. Some of the rooms that had 3 Like the 3-year-old rooms had 3 rooms. Those are slightly less than $7,000 per room. And I included our office, our kitchen, our library, our indoor play area or space, and then the staff resource area, so copier room and things like that. Educational supplies like toys, books, I put $10,000 in the budget for that. This is something that will also be in the operational budget, as we are always going to buy toys and books and things for the classroom. So I didn't put a huge amount in it to start up, considering that we're going to continue with that in our normal operational budget. Marketing expenses are large at the beginning with business cards, brochures, flyers, the needs assessment survey, a professional website startup. So I put $3,000 in the budget for that. I have our furniture and fixtures, so things that are permanent in the room, like cribs, smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, computers, CD players. $5,000 at the startup for that. I included housekeeping equipment like cleaning supplies, paper products, toiletries, administrative expenses like our utilities, our phone, our licensing fees, and our insurance. And then professional development cost, which are the CPR, the background checks, the fingerprinting, and the drug screening, which will be required for all of our staff. Working capital for 9 months, and then a contingency budget of 15%. So the total came to $547,950. So just under $548,000 for the startup budget. Next, I'll talk about our hours of operation, which are Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I included the days that we would be closed through the year, the holidays. This is also listed in our parent and employee handbooks, I believe both. We tried to accommodate working parents with our hours. So with that early drop off and a little bit later pickup. So we allotted for drive time, travel time for parents, and also tried to accommodate our staff as well, by making the shifts so that we could split it and offer breaks to the staff as well with that schedule. And last, I will talk about food cost. So this food cost data was derived from the CACFP, which is the Child and Adult Food Program. So they collected data. They took 2 months worth of items requested for reimbursement by more than 100,000 providers. And the recorded data included what month they requested it, what food item name it was, the meal that it was eaten, and the food classification. So fruit or vegetable, meat, grain, milk, and how many servings were reported for reimbursement. So the data, the cost came from this data that they compiled and averaged. So I used that as baseline data. And the way it was split up was by the age group that the CACFP determines. So infants ages 0 to 5 months eat differently than infants ages 6 to 11 months. So here would be formula, breast milk only, and here would be where they're starting to get introduced to table foods and different things would need to be served. So that's why the infants are split, whereas on other budgets, infants would all be probably lumped from 0 to 12. And the same with 1-year-olds. The 1-year-old's diet is different than the 2. So I took the data the daily totals that I came up with based on the data provided, and I multiplied it by how many we would be serving. So the quantity served is how many children are in our facility that fall within that age group. or adults, and got the total of $522.14 a day. This I know will fluctuate or could fluctuate. We put in our employee handbook that we would offer meals to adults, but not every adult, I'm sure, would take that. So that number could fluctuate. And I think these totals could fluctuate too if children qualify for free or reduced lunch, then the numbers would probably be slightly different as well. So I also stated that this data is used as a baseline, and then we would generate actual data after the program's been operational for 2 full months. And then we could kind of reevaluate what our actual food costs are. I think that is it for food costs. So I hope that you have enjoyed learning about our facility, and thanks for watching.